Let's talk about the U.S. Senate race. How do you think Marco Rubio's faring now against Charlie Crist and Kendrick Meek?
Well, this is still Marco Rubio's race to lose. I think the Republican base in Florida is 42–43%. And in a three-person race, I think that is attainable. Really, the question is not how many votes Marco gets, and so much it is how many votes Charlie Crist can get from the Democrats. Today, he's holding about 22–23% of Republicans, moderate, liberal Republicans. Now that he has again declared himself, I guess in his most recent flip, for Obamacare, he could lose more Republicans. Kendrick Meek, I think, limits Crist's ability to go into the African American community where he might otherwise be able to get votes against a Jeff Green. So this really is a question of squeezing Charlie in the middle. Charlie could get squeezed in the middle, making Marco, I think, with a larger party base and greater ability to reach out beyond his base than Kendrick Meek, who I think is very limited. I mean, Kendrick Meek is the only person I know of who's been a lobbyist and a congressman at the exact same time. So it's I think, a fascinating race.
How do you think Senator Lemieux has done in his job up to now, and what do you think his prospects are for 2012?
Well, first of all, let's speak for 2012. I don't think he's a viable candidate because of his inexorable links to Jim Greer, the corrupt boss of the Florida Republican Party. It was Mr. Lemieux who promoted Mr. Greer, defended Mr. Greer, protected Mr. Greer in the Crist administration and in the Crist entourage. There were early warnings of the corruption in the Republican Party headquarters. Governor Crist knew, George Lemieux knew. Honest employees, people dedicated their lives to Charlie Crist, were run off when they questioned shady financial transactions as Greer consolidated his power. And now we learn that Charlie Crist has returned $10,000 to this thief, which is a way of saying to the public, I knew he was a thief the whole time and I don't care. He was my thief. It's offensive. So I don't think Mr. Lemieux's, he's kind of like Claude Range, you know. Lemieux, it's like, I'm shocked that there is corruption at RPOF. No, George, you protected the corruption. My guess is a strong, articulate conservative, someone like you, Javier, might surface to as the Tea Party candidate to take on the political insider and career politician, George Lemieux.
I want to talk about Florida District, Congressional District 20. You reside in that district. Harrington won the Republican primary. Any comments on that?
Well, first of all, in the interest of full disclosure, my son, Scott Alexander Stone, who lived in that district, took a very hard look at the congressional district. I took a hard look at the race. Ultimately decided not to run. I think his fear was that once he won, I would then trade on his famous name. So, I'm very familiar with the topography of the district. I know Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I have met her. She was introduced to me to my great friend Grant Smith, who is a staunch Democrat. And she impressed me as an industrious, hardworking, effective socialist. And therefore, I'm a big booster of Harrington. I think she's exactly what we need. She understands the connection between cutting taxes and lowering spending and economic prosperity. I have no doubt that Wasserman Schultz is a rising star as the party moves further and further to hard left socialism. Her views will be more dominant in the party, and she may be able to climb the seniority ladder, but she's part of the problem. She's part of the majority in Congress that has given us the highest taxes, the wildest spending, and no jobs in sight. So I'm with Harrington. I was impressed with by the way, she defeated Lowry, an enormous defeat for Dick Morris, political consultant Dick Morris, who had endorsed Lowry. Obviously, Morris's endorsement with grassroots conservatives did not, in this case, carry much weight. I know Dick. Dick's a friend of mine, but obviously not a factor in this race. I endorsed Harrington, as you know, in the Stone Zone, and I think very effective in terms of helping pull out this race. I'm a big fan, and you know, she may not win this race. This is a very tough race. This is the kind of race that Richard Nixon faced in 1947. On the other hand, she's a hard charger, and in this year, the year in which Teddy Kennedy's race falls to the Republicans in red Massachusetts, pardon me, in blue Massachusetts, the bluest of blue states. Well, maybe they had it right the first time. In any event, anything is possible, and Harrington can win.